I've seen you talk about career growth as you need to be your own salesperson. You need to promote yourself. You need to advocate for yourself. And just like sales, everyone on the outside thinks, oh, it's easy. You just got to schmooze. But everybody who actually does sales knows there's a lot of methodologies. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of introspection. There's a lot of tool sets. Talk to me more about that metaphor of being a salesperson for yourself. Where does that start? How does a job seeker build those salesperson skills?
Yeah, I think that's such a great call out and observation. A lot of people think that great salespeople are the good sort of like wheeler dealers and talkers, but that's actually really not the case. Those people are great pitch people. They're oftentimes not great salespeople. A great salesperson really thinks about the whole process end to end. How do you get people into the sales process? Then how do you coach them and guide them through the sales process? And ultimately, the most difficult thing, how do you close? Right? And that's hard. That's really hard. And exactly to your point, that's why there is a tremendous amount of tooling, process, training, right? Even like the act of following up. A lot of people realize, it's like, I don't like to follow up. It makes me uncomfortable. Statistically proven, to land a job effectively, you need to follow up 8 times, right? There's research out there that shows it. Great book by Orville Pearson on running the effective job search. You got to follow up. You got to do cold outreach. Those are things that effective salespeople do. And you got to do that with tact. You got to do it at the right time. These things are things that are learned. It's not just some natural ability you have. Sure, maybe some people are better people than others. But even that, you can be taught techniques on how to read a person. And so how to engage with them. When I meet you, do I ask you about your family and where you're from? Or do I cut straight to the chase and start talking about work? People have a preference. And there's probably ways to discern that. And for sure, there are ways to discern that. And we can teach you that. So same for your job search process. Identifying companies that you think you're a good fit for, where to find them. It's not just going to job boards and searching and applying online. It's then finding those jobs, then mining your network for knowing if you know anybody that works at that company that could intro you in, or if you know someone that knows someone, or potentially even like cold outreach on Twitter, LinkedIn to the CEO of the company. You hear tons of success stories about how people do that. That's all a process. Having templates for that copy and how you write it. Then when they do write back to you, how do you get in? What do you send them? Making sure that you've really dissected the job description and that your resume is super tailored to that job description instead of some generic document that is trying to cover all the things you do. Most companies don't want to know all the things you do. They want to know the things that you do that are relevant to that particular role. They want to put a square peg in a square hole. But a lot of us just want to make that one document that's very general. And then we really don't stand out. We just kind of look like a generally okay candidate versus a perfect candidate for that role. And then once you're in, how do you really knock it out of the park with your interviews? You're probably going to get interviewed from 3 to 6 people, and all of them are going to be looking for different things and have different concerns and want to connect with you in a different way. So you're going to have to get good at practicing that. And then ultimately, once you get an offer, you got to be clear on what matters to you. What are you negotiating for? Where is that company? How are you kind of reading the situation? Are they more cash rich, or do they want to do equity? Do they care about benefits? What matters to you? Do you need it to be remote? The whole time you were talking about it, needing to relocate in 3 months, but the truth is you really wanted to be remote and you didn't know when to broach that topic, right? All those things are a real delicate dance, and you got to get good at those. And the other thing is that those things are happening hundreds of thousands of times a day. But for you, it only happens every 3 to 5 years, right? So you want that, to benefit from that volume, which that's the reasons you want to do that communally. So no matter how much we teach you a process, you're still going to get oddball situations, and having a community that's got your back to help you do that is key.